Thank you so much for having me. My name is Vanessa Nakate, and I'm a climate activist from Uganda. I'll be talking about droughts and their impacts on the African continent. If rains do not come, then none of us will survive. This is because a lack of rain means hunger and death for the people in these communities. Many families, many regions heavily depend on agriculture as a form of survival. They depend on the food that they grow. But what happens if they do not receive any rain? It only means that they will not survive, they will not live, they will not achieve any dreams that they have ever wanted. Drought is a disaster. You never know how much and how dangerous it is until you experience it. The moment you realize that there are communities whose water for drinking is dirtier and more contaminated than your toilet water, that is when you will realize that this is a crisis. Many communities are being impacted by the increasing global temperatures. They are being impacted by the changes in weather patterns. They are experiencing uneven distribution of rainfall, bringing about delayed rains in some regions, while others that are able to receive rain, they receive it in very large quantities in form of torrential rainfall, causing massive destruction of their farms, of their sources of food. More than 45 million people struggle with hunger, with famine, because of the issues of drought. Many others suffer with water scarcity because of the issues of drought. I will talk about Lake Chad in Africa. Lake Chad has shrunk to 10th its size in just 50 years. Many communities depend on the fresh waters of this lake, and the population keeps on increasing. But the moment the demand for the waters is high and the supply is low, then we expect drought conditions in that area. And this is all as a result of the climate crisis. We cannot be able to achieve zero hunger without addressing the climate crisis, because climate change heavily impacts the agricultural sector and the ecosystems and the landscapes. Lake Chad is a lake that is important and vital to many people, but they are losing it. But what can we do? What can be done to stop the problems of drought, that is food scarcity and water scarcity? We need more resilience in these communities to ensure that people are able to access food even when these problems come. Yes, there may be long-term solutions to the climate crisis, but what about now? Many people forget that it's not about what is coming in the future. It's about the now, and many people forget the present. And the present clearly shows the number of people, millions of lives, who have to starve to death because of lack of food, because of lack of clean drinking water. But then we can do something. We can build resilience in these communities to make sure that if they experience such challenges, they have a backup for food so that their children don't have to starve, so that their children don't have to miss school. I mean, don't expect a child to go to school on a hungry stomach. We need to make sure that they have access to clean water, but we are not going to wait for the climate action plans that are coming in 50 years. We need now solutions by building projects, supporting projects that are being carried out in the most affected communities, building ways of water harvesting in these communities so that people can still survive even when they face droughts. The truth is, we cannot be able to eradicate the droughts in these regions, but we can do something to reduce the impact of the droughts. We can do something to make sure that the ecosystems, the lakes, the rivers, they are protected. We need to make sure that the soil is protected. Because if the moisture in the soil is reduced, that is also another problem. That is why you are needed. You who is listening to me, do something. Support a project. Reach out to those people, the affected people. Reach out to those communities. Offer a plate of food. Offer a glass of water. Remember, some of them drink water that is more contaminated than the toilet water that you use to flush. Droughts are here, but we can all do something to make sure that people live happily, that people live in a more healthy way, that people can still recover and survive amidst a drought disaster. We need to address the earlier signs of drought situations, and that is by building the resilience before. We shouldn't react to the drought. We should plan earlier. We should be proactive so that the people that experience food crisis and water crisis because of droughts don't have to suffer, don't have to lose their loved ones. You can do something wherever you are. Use your platform. Join campaigns and help out. We need to eradicate hunger. We need to reach a point of zero hunger. We need to eradicate water scarcity. But we can only do this by not forgetting the greatest threat facing humanity right now, and that is climate change. Thank you so much.